What's up, Brave Hearts community? This is Sean Heineman, your pre-engagement coach, back with another segment of It's Scary to Marry You, wanting you to love fearlessly. Today's guest, this is another episode where I have someone that's near and dear to my heart. So I love these segments. My next guest, I met her at my first social media marketing event. This was some years ago when I was doing social media marketing. She came through, it was in the hood and stuff, and she still came through and represented, for your boy. And I didn't even know her, but she came through and showed love, and I will never forget that. So I'm always indebted to her for that. Since then, we collaborated under my old brand. Here we are with my new brand, doing something new. So I'm just appreciative that we are still connected and we can still be able to converse on some things because she is doing some amazing things. Let me tell you a little bit about my next guest. She is a social media superstar, crowdfunding campaign strategist, and a high-performing amplifier. She has grown her personal business and social media platforms to more than 75,000 followers. And she also built a 6,000 member Facebook group in under 6 months. Yep, she is truly a superstar when it comes to social media. Brave Hearts community, let's show some love to the beautiful, the lovely LaNee Javet. What's going on, LaNee?
What's good, Sean Heineman? Thank you so much for that awesome introduction.
For sure. And of course, you do social media marketing, but I want to talk about entrepreneurship and how you do this because you are killing it. And I love that you have continually stayed the course and have helped so many people throughout these different seasons of life. So let's jump into today's segment. And give us some of your details about your business and how you run your business and why people should hire LaNee.
Oh man. So about my business, I am a strategist, a business strategist, life strategist. My coach says, no, girl, you're a success strategist. I was like, okay. So I come up with strategies for people to be successful in reaching their goals, right? So I wake up every day and I tell people, tell me what you want to do and I'll tell you how to do it. Because most people have a concept, an idea of something that they want to do, whether that's in their business, in their life, a book, a product, a service, entrepreneurship, and they just aren't sure about the steps that they need to take to do it. And that causes people to stay stagnant or operate in fear. And so when they come to me, they basically tell me everything that it is that they want to do, either what they've tried, what they haven't tried, what worked, but didn't work, what they're afraid of. And then we sit down and create a strategy to help them execute and implement what it is that they want to do so that they can have success in their life. And so I get to do that every day. Why would somebody hire me? If they want to be successful. And then that's it. If you want to be successful, if you want to hit those goals and move up in life and move forward in life, if you want to upscale, then somebody will work with me or hire me.
Yes, for sure. Because you just had an event. If you don't mind sharing that with us real quick about what is the event that you just had that sold out?
My God, the Black Power event, Black Power, HER, a business conference. And it was amazing. Man, let me tell you, I don't know, everybody has somebody different. Some people I call it God, right? Some people call it the universe. And so however you want to say it, showed up and showed out for your girl. I have been dealing with some personal stuff in my home with my son for like a year and a half. And so it kept me from social media, if you will, or being in the public. And so this was kind of like my coming out party to have this event because I haven't really been, online that often. And so to have this event, my goal was 500 people because I'm an overachiever. But I basically came up with the name of the event, did the logo, and produced this event in less than 30 days. I only did 11 days of advertising, right? And again, my goal was 500 because that's how I operate. We didn't do 500, which I was a little bit bummed about, but we did 267, which is not bad for 11 days of advertising. And I've never had more than 100 people at an event.
Yeah.
So coming off of the heels of a hiatus, 30 days of putting it together, 11 days of advertising, 267, plus a $5,000 sponsor from Tito's Handmade Vodka. It was okay. It was a success.
Yes, for sure.
Sold out. And my mentor was like, you could have sold out 3 times. You could have sold out at 100. You could have sold out 150. You could have sold out at 200. You would have decided not to sell out to 250. I was like, I had to get as close as I could to 500.
Yeah, for sure. My God. And you said only how many days of advertising?
11.
Man, imagine if you would have had, say, 30 days on out,
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have hit my 500. I would have hit 500. Heck, if I would have had 3 weeks, I probably could have hit 500. But yeah, it was good. I'm super geeked, super happy with it, about it. The doors that it's open, it's, and it has helped me come back. So just success strategists coming up with strategies to be successful.
Yes, for sure. And you've been doing this for years. Like I remember the party you had, I think you had in celebration of, I think your first business with Cold Cider, I think. And even just going to that event, I was just like, wow, I met so many people there. And I'm thankful to connect with people I knew just from being at your event. Yeah,
we this next year will be my 10-year anniversary. I left my corporate position July 12th, 2013. So July of next year will be 10 years. I've been doing this thing full time.
10 years full time.
Yeah.
I want to get on your level one day. I got to stay connected with you.
A whole decade is about to be gone since I've been doing this. It's crazy. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I literally get to wake up and operate in my God-given talent and purpose. And I've been doing I've been in therapy these last year and a half. I've been doing a lot of soul searching and just growing and relate. I know we're talking about scared to be married, so we're gonna get to that development of myself to be ready to be in a relationship. It's something I've been putting off for years because I've been working on my business and myself. So I've been doing that. But like a decade has come and gone in my PhD program. So there's a lot of these different moving parts and moving pieces in life, but man, God is still just in the blessing business. I don't feel forgotten. I feel like everything is finally starting to make sense in my life. But a lot of that is just because I'm surrendering to the process.
I love that. And it seems, and even just from knowing you, you've always had a wonderful mind. And I've always seen how you've operated throughout the years. Even when I relocated and moved to another state, I still was just seeing what you were doing and different things of that nature. And I was able to catch up with you I seen you were talking to Boyce Watkins, I think you're talking to Boyce. And I seen you on in the comments or something, and I was just like, LaNee, like I gotta catch up with LaNee, so I was like, oh, I was finally able to connect again. But that's another topic for another time. I'm just excited about this show, right? To have you back. It's been so long.
It's always a good time when I get to talk to you. Let me just say, I'm so excited for you and proud of you. That's the beautiful thing about social media. Like you don't have to be in somebody's space, but you can still see their development and their growth and cheer them on and be excited for them. And so I've seen that with you and for you. And I've just been praying for you and just excited to see, what God is doing in your life and how he's moving you, and just that you, again, surrender to the process. I am literally motivated nowadays. Anyways, this didn't happen this way, but nowadays, I can literally look at somebody else's life and just be happy for them. You know what I'm saying? Be motivate them from here. And when you get to a place where, and I'm big on this right now. Sometimes I'll be scrolling past something and I'll be like, oh, they did that. And I'll be like, back up. Like that. If God is in the blessing business, he can do it for them, he can do it for you. So sometimes I have to make myself, because you just want to pass by other people's blessings sometimes. You be thinking about it, you be scrolling on social media, but sometimes you need to big up somebody else's blessings. And you know what I'm saying? So that you can be connected to blessings. If God is doing it for this person, he can do it for you. And it just makes you operate from a different space than sitting scrolling through social media. This person did this. This person did this. I told my girlfriends, I was like, I got folks. No one specific, nobody specific. I'm going to put a disclaimer. Totally. Because people say this and think this, so I just got to make sure say that this is my disclaimer. There's no one person specific when I say the statement, but there are people around me in my circle who have gotten out of situations or out of relationships and in completely new relationships. And I'm like, Lord, I have had a relationship. You got folks, they left this one and got in this one, left that one and got in a new one. I got somebody who done got 2 times. I'm like, Jesus, what are you doing? But I have some work to do. That's what he said.
And you saw me in the whole process. So
So all that to say motivation.
Are you tired of dating the same person, just different faces? Are you tired of people wasting your time in this whole dating process? Do you desire to marry one day? I created this 5-part video series entitled Dating Intentionally, 5 Ways to Know They Are the One for You. You can get it now in the comment section below. You will see it is 5, the number 5, ways to know.podia.com. I created this 5-part video series with you in mind. Now let's get back into today's podcast episode.
Watching how you have moved and what people are doing and putting themselves back out there and being intentional about what they want and then going after it. I realized I wasn't operating in intentionality. I operate in intentionality with the things that I can control. I'm great at business because I can control it. I can control getting online. I can control my social media. I can control the narrative. I can decide what time I'm going to get up, what time I'm going to go to bed. I can decide if I'm going to travel. I'm good at it. I can control it. I am great in my PhD program because I can, this is the research that I want to do. This is how I want it to be presented. I'm good at doing podcasts. I can do my hair. I can set my lighting. The things I can't control, relationship, putting myself out there, rejection, are they gonna like me? I don't want to do that stuff. I'm not as intentional in those areas because I can't control that. But seeing you and others getting on that horse again and getting out there and not being scared, it's motivating to those of us who are like, dang, that's what I want, but I just don't know how to go about doing it or putting myself out there. So I'm super glad that you have shared that part of your story with us. And then that you have this platform for individuals that are like, I really don't want to be scared of it. I really want to get out there and do it again. I just don't know what to do or how to do it.
Yeah. Because if I stayed scared, I would have missed out on the wonderful woman I have now. If I would have let heartbreak or even frustration and irritation and all those things and bitterness and resentment, had I let all those things get in the way, I really believe that God would be like, nope, because you're going to mess this up. With that bitterness you got on you, I can't hook you up with this because you're going to screw it up and then be looking at me like, God, why you didn't hook me up? But anyway, this is about you. We ain't talking about me today.
Jesus.
Let me stop.
But that's the truth. Here, so if we want to talk about me, a lot of men over 40, in my opinion, please don't come for me in the comments. I'm just going to talk about my experience, okay? A lot of men over 40 are in a place of bitterness and hurt and frustration, which is why you run into a lot of, I won't say you, I have been running into a lot of emotionally unavailable men because they have been in a relationship or they have been married or they've already lived that life, and over 40, they're like, I'm good. I've already been there, done that, been hurt. And so now I just kind of want to chill. You know? You actually, I have a question for you. You can answer this for me. I've read this, or somebody told me this, that a man has, I don't know what you're going to say. A man gets one good love of his life, or a man will only open up to one woman in his life. And once a man gets hurt, that's it. Is that true? Because as I'm getting older and dating, it appears to be true. Like a man is like, look, I did this.
Ooh. See, okay, you about to get started. but this is good. So because we got to get this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. But I will say I agree with that because I'm 45. I just turned 45 in February. And yeah, you get that because should I say this? Okay, let's be transparent. We're kicking it. Yeah. I know when I was married the first time around, and I always tell people I would never, shame my ex-wife or anything of that nature because I married her. I was with her for 15 years. So what did that look like me trying to bomb on her now? And I spent 15 years with her.
That's what I love about you. I love you even more. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I would never bomb her in public. Never. But I will say that learning from that divorce, it has helped me. I realized how bad I was at stonewalling and not being emotionally available to her at that time. So in this process of therapy, and because I've been rocking with my therapist for over 2 years, and the woman that I'm married to now, I'm able to be emotionally available to her. So I was able to give my wife at 45, not me at 45, able to give her something that I was never able to give any other woman.
Ooh, so it is true. However, the current wife somebody's with might not be that one person that's supposed to be their one.
Ooh, I just did it. LaNee, I just did an interview yesterday. I'm gonna post a video. I had a guest on mine, the pastor first lady. We was talking yesterday, and we talked about this very thing that men, we just had this tendency to, if you hurt me once, I don't know if I'm gonna open up to you again, because men, we just take stuff so personal. Like we be like little chumps, you know. We act like little high schoolers, you know. It's like, when you gonna grow up, you know? But I don't want any women to lose hope, like, oh well, that's it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
because you have some out there. You have some.
You do.
You have some. There's a lot of good dudes out there. I don't even know the best way to say it. There are, I have at least three, at least minimum, off the top of my head, at least 3 dudes I can think of that are over 40, never married, no kids.
Really?
And each one has a different situation. I'm not gonna call it issue. Each one has a different situation, right? Yeah. One definitely wants to be married, wants to settle down, but is super judgmental on women. He's set in his ways, and so he's looking for a very specific woman. And that, I don't know if that woman exists anymore. Not in this age category, right? The other one, he is super fresh, and he would make somebody a great mate, but he is worried about getting himself established first. And I'm like, dude, at 45, like, you have a nice job, you have a decent place to live. He's like, yeah, but I need to buy a house, I need to do all these things. I'm like, you're gonna be 55, 60. Like, the whole purpose in having a relationship is to build together. So that's his situation. He's stuck on the man things. I gotta have all this stuff in place. And then my other homeboy, he's way cool. He is just like, look, I can't have anybody coming up in here messing up what I've already built. And so it's just easier just to be by myself. And, you know, I'll date a little bit here and there, but I don't want nobody coming in here messing up my stuff. So even the ones that aren't emotionally available, who are technically emotionally available, they're not mentally available.
Yeah. And I don't want, you know, the ladies to lose hope, because I do believe, because my mind has shifted a lot since going through what I've been through. I had to do some unlearning and some unearthing and some faulty thought processes that I've had in my head. So there are some shifts, but I will say that I don't want the ladies to lose hope, because there are some good guys out here. Like, don't lose hope. But I do believe, I will say, I do think men are better when they marry older. 35 and up, I think you have a chance. I married at 24 and was divorced at 40.
Okay.
You know, looking back, I was crazy young. I was raising a child that was 12 years younger than me. You know, that was a lot. Yeah. And we had other issues and stuff too. That's not the only one. But I'm just saying that I think men, when you're older, I think you have a better chance with some therapy.
With some therapy. And
intense therapy.
I would say that therapy has definitely helped me change my perspective on dating and relationship. It has definitely helped me to do some self-analyzing in dating and relationship. So if I have to be honest, if somebody was like, why are you single? I would say I have not been intentional for a variety of different reasons. Number one, I have, and I can speak on this because I literally had this conversation last night. I did a lot of go along to get along, which a lot of women do, right? The man will say this is what he wants or what he doesn't want, and then we kind of just go along with that, thinking that we can change his mind. When once he let me know that these were his intentions, I could have and should have made a choice and decision of what I wanted to do. But instead, two completely different situations, both 5-year situations that just went nowhere. And I can't even blame them, because they literally told me what they wanted and what they didn't want, right? And I was like, oh, it's going to be different. And didn't vocalize what I wanted. Literally what they said was cool. So I was not intentional. And then two, by not being intentional, I put it on the back burner. So it was kind of like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because when you're younger, you're out. When you're younger and you're out, you're just meeting people. When you get older, you have to be intentional about it. And then that comes to the fear, right? I got to be intentional. I got to put myself out there. I got to be seen. I got to So all of that definitely has played into it, to where now this year in 2022, I'm very intentional. I was like, you know what? I have to stop being afraid of the relationship thing. Like, I know I want to be in a relationship. I know I want to get married one day. My son is 21. He'll be 22 in July.
Really?
Yes. He will be 22 in July. Wow. I'll be 46 in August. 46 in September. So time is moving. Life is moving. He about to be moved out, doing his own thing. And I don't want the only thing I have in my life to be this business and this PhD. Like, I got a business and a diploma. That's not enough anymore. You know what I mean? And so now I'm super intentional about it. I pray about it. I talk to God about it. I say yes more than I say no. Like, somebody ask me, I'm like, yeah, okay, at least, go out and mingle. I've thrown my list away.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that.
Now, let me be clear. Because when I say I throw my list away, it ain't gone. Like, when I say I threw my list away, I mean, I took it from,
it was a scroll.
You can't even see it. Yeah, I took it from here to like here, which to me is like throwing it away, right?
Okay.
On my list now, of course, is God loving, God fearing, somebody that can pray over me. Like, that never leaves. But what second is not my will, but your will. I just feel like I've been trying to create and piece together this relationship situation, but really, God, you know my heart, and you know me better than me. So, and you know what I want. More importantly, you know what I need. So I have to trust you with it, because I've been doing it this kind of way and this kind of way and this kind of way, and it hasn't been working. And yet I've been getting what I've been asking for. It hasn't been working. So now I'm like, I trust you. Just, do what you're going to do. Do what you're going to do. And oddly enough, things have been getting a little bit exciting. Last night I was out in a little meet and greet. Right. So things have been getting a little exciting.
Okay, that's what's up.
With a little intentionality. Getting out of my own head, getting out of my own fear, and then talking life over the situation. Because the world will tell you that there's no good men, and Black men don't need Black women, and da-da-da. So I had to, I watched The Secret at the beginning of this year, and I had to start changing the language that I use. And I live in Arizona. I don't got to tell you about that.
Yeah.
On top of everything. And so I had to change my language, right? There may not be for this person, but for me, God, I thank you that you have somebody set aside for me. Like, I'm not listening to what the world is saying. Every day I get up, I'm like, today might be the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I leave my house with intentionality.
That's what's up.
Before, it's really easy to leave. You run to Walmart, you run to Target, and I be out there crazy. Like, I hope nobody knows me for my business or my brand crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And now with intentionality, LaNee, put your eyebrows on, a little lip gloss. You might run into your dude at Home Depot. Like, you might gas station. So now just everything is more intentional, if that makes sense.
I love that. That's been my word this year, has been intentional. I even, shameless plug, I created a 5-part video series called Dating Intentionally, 5 Ways to Know They Are the One. And, of course, I'm not just give it away, but I'm just like, you have to be intentional when you're dating, because I think a lot of times when we're just dating just to date, hoping, just kind of haphazardly, like, oh, well, maybe I'll just stumble upon this person. Just like you're intentional about your business, you can be intentional about going into marriage. And that way, you're like the captain of your ship, opposed to just kind of going wherever the waves go, So, yeah.
And it's scary. It is. I would be lying to somebody if I said it wasn't. I was like, but it's scarier to think I might be here with my cat and my dog by myself.
You have a cat and dog.
I do not, but my son says if my son keeps saying I'm gonna live alone with cats, and I'm like, I don't even like cats. But I just can't see that for my life. I can't see that for myself. Like I just you have to ask yourself, like, what's scarier? Like, what's scarier to me? Working hard all these years, building this dope business, helping all these people in life, saving my community, going to school, getting this PhD, becoming a doctor, beating the odds, and then at the end of my life being by myself. And let me say this, because I don't want to be like, I don't want to be one of those single shamers, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting to be single. Absolutely nothing wrong. I forget, and I don't want to mess it up. I know that there's, I've been to different sermons or talks where they talk about some women's path is single. So I don't want to be a shamer if somebody's like, I'm good, I don't need, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, as for me in my house.
I know that's right. I will have a husband.
What you said, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Because I don't want to be, and I say that to say this, it took me a while to get here. Because I grew up, and I don't want to have any kids, I don't want to get married. I've known that since I was like 12.
See, and there's so much I want to ask you, because as you're talking, I'm just like, I have to ask you this. Oh, I have to ask you that. Totally shifted away from my questions. And I'm just like, but I have to talk to you about this. So do you think that now that you're more mature, do you think one of the hindrances to women maybe finding a husband is, do you think that they spend their younger years maybe not worried about marriage? Like, I'll wait till I get older and then I'll get married. Like, I'll just do whatever I want to do. And then one day I get older and boom, my husband is going to come without doing any of the work. If that makes sense. Like,
I can only speak for myself, because I think all women are different. I have a homegirl who's been with her dude since we were like 20. They didn't even get married until they were like 35. Like, they were together for like 10, 15 years before they got married, but they've been together all of our youth. So I think it's different for everybody. That's why I say, that's why I can say I only speak for myself. I had my son at 23, and I thought, so I knew I didn't want to have kids, and I didn't want to get married. Met my son's father, had my son. And then I told myself, I have more kids if I, and they'll get into the relationship, and then time just starts going and you're not realizing it. So that's 23. And now I'm like, okay, I'm 30. Maybe I should start looking at a relationship. So which kept me in my first 5-year situation way too long. Way too long. 5 years is way too long to deal with somebody that don't know what they want to do.
I agree.
From the beginning. From the beginning. Not somebody who you're dating with intention and then they're dragging their feet. But for somebody who's letting you know up front, I don't really know what I'm going to do right now. So 5 years of uncertainty is too long, what I'm saying.
Interesting.
And then I went to a 2-year situation that was no better, but it took me out of that situation. That person was coming out of a situation. I was trying to get out of that situation. So we were what we needed to get out of our situations, but it wasn't going to play out well. And then I found myself in another 5-year situation. So literally 12 years of dead end situations without being intentional. And then at the end of that, you're like, well, how come I'm not in a relationship? Now, for me, I hid behind my son and my business. It was easy to be like, oh, I don't have the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm busy. Oh, my son is my priority, which he was and still is.
Of course.
But I let those things sugarcoat the fear of really putting myself out there, right? And now I'm like, okay, well, I'll give myself till 40 to have kids. From 23 when I had my first one to I'll give myself till 40. 40 comes and I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's it. Not gonna have any more kids. So that's off. And then it's like, okay, but I still want to have a relationship. Like, I don't want my son to have to bear that burden of entertaining me and being there for me, this and the other. And initially it was, I'll just go back to school. Lord Jesus, I wish somebody would have told me the PhD doesn't replace a relationship. And actually it gets in the way. It makes it harder.
Yeah.
So I think it's different for every person. To answer your question, did I think I had the time? Absolutely. I thought I had the time.
Yeah.
Did I think it would be easy?
Mm.
Yep, I did. I thought it would be easy. However, to your point, so that I don't want anybody to not have hope. However, it could have been easier if I had been intentional. It could have been easier if I had made time. It could have been easier if I wasn't afraid of rejection and being hurt. It could have been easier if I wasn't thinking about my business and my brand. So it has been difficult, but some of that is on me, you know, and from the business perspective, trying to do the online dating thing. I'm a whole business. I'm a whole brand. I don't want people to see me online dating. So I didn't even let dating be a priority for me, because now I'm like, oh my God, somebody from my business is going to see me. They're going to think, well, two people in business want to date too.
That's right. That's right. Y'all not exempt. Y'all people too.
Yes. So I can say a lot of it is getting in my own way, right? Like just mentally, I think that there is a stigma in the world, and I don't know if this is for all women. I don't know, but let's just say for Black women, right? Okay. We have the strong Black woman narrative.
Yes.
Right. And the strong Black woman is supposed to be able to do everything for herself by herself. And she definitely don't need a man. That's the narrative, right? And so from a business perspective, from a woman perspective, from a strong Black woman perspective, to then show that vulnerable side of yourself and say that you want this thing, sometimes it's a conflict with your spirit and your soul, and that narrative that you have to fight and figure out, like, am I so strong that I want to be single? Strong and single is not cute.
Say that again for the people in the back. My God.
Strong and single. And if it is for you, then I'm not talking to you. But this is for those strong women that are like, you know, I really do want somebody in my life. Like, you don't have to be so strong. Here's the thing. And this, I tell my girlfriends this: we are not strong because we have to. We are not strong because we want to. We're strong because we have to. And there is a difference. If somebody wants to come along and help me carry this burden and this load, by all means, here, brother, you got it. You have it. Lead, trust, take it. You have it. I'm gonna sit over here in this corner and kick back. And so I'd have that confusion on myself, where I was like, you know what? You can be strong and be loving. You can be strong and be nurturing. You can be strong and say that you want a relationship.
So do you think that Black men have dropped the ball in the area of looking after Black women? Now, when I say drop the ball, I'm not saying that he's supposed to automatically be this 6-figure income maker and he's supposed to have the 6-pack abs and he's 6'5" and no children and he's 44. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not saying that. I'm just generalizing. Do you think that we as Black men, because I think y'all have to be strong because of our lack of responsibility, and not all Black men, but I would say most.
That's such a good question. if you see me, I got my liners in.
It's all good.
My lips dry. So people are like, what the hell is she doing? My liners are in, trying to get these bottom teeth straight.
Gotcha.
Do I think that Black men have dropped the ball? Damn, you're gonna put me on the spot.
And we're keeping it real, you know. I know it's gonna be people in the comments.
It's a delicate situation. It's a delicate answer.
Yeah.
And it's multifaceted. Do I think that they have dropped the ball? No.
Okay.
Do I think that they're dribbling it slow? Yes. Right. And is it their fault? No. I think that the game that we are playing, men and women, is what is hurting us, right? We're not in the same, and if we use that analogy, we're playing against each other. So we're competing against each other. So that's part of our problem, right? You shouldn't be able to drop the ball, because if I'm your teammate, I should be the one that's passing it to you. We should be playing on the same team. But if we're competing against each other and you drop the ball, I'm trying to get the ball. I'm trying to score. So that's some of the issue that we have between Black men and Black women.
Yeah.
You have the strong Black woman narrative. You have the Black man that's supposed to lead. How do you lead when the woman's be so strong and she's trying to lead? There's that dynamic that's happening.
Yes.
You have the competition that's happening. We could stick with the ball analogy. He got the ball. I want the ball. We both trying to score. There's competition. You have the super strong alpha personality woman that wants to be the head, and you have the man that doesn't know how to deal with this type of a woman that may or may not find her to be intimidating. So this says, I'm just not going to deal with Black women at all. That there's a lot of barriers that have been set up between us that makes it very difficult for us to get along, if you will. And what I find is, and this is why I say I don't think Black men have dropped the ball, is you have a lot of men that they still want to date Black women.
Yep.
You do. You have a lot of men that still want to date Black women. They just don't know how. And we don't always make it easy. We don't always make it easy. One, I think that intentionality piece is super important. Being intentional. Sis, it's okay to say you want a dude. It's okay to say you want a man. Here's the thing. It's okay to be able to pay. This is what I had to learn. It's okay to be able to pay your own bills. It's okay to be able to live lavishly. It's okay to be able to, I got it by myself. I don't need nobody. All that's okay. I'm not taking anything away from somebody's hard work. But at the end of the day, is all of your accomplishments going to keep you warm at night? Are all of your accomplishments going to hold your hand when you walk down the beach? Are all of your accomplishments going to pat you on the back when you had a bad day or something is rough or somebody's tripping on you in your office? It's the priceless stuff that you cannot buy, where I personally feel your mate or specifically Black men come in for me.
Yeah.
But where I think Black men don't see their value is thinking that the only thing that they have to bring to the table is what they make, what they earn, if they have a house, if they have a car. And that's a societal thing that says the Black man is supposed to, or a man is supposed to be the provider and supposed to have all these things. Well, teamwork says we build together. So if I got a little bit more right now and you don't have as much, then we build together. But if you have a little bit more than I have and I don't have as much, then we build together. But you have women building by themselves and men build by themselves, and nobody's ever coming together to build.
See, and I agree with that, but I think the disconnect is when, like you said, that, okay, I might have a little more than you right now. I think that's where the struggle is, because I hear, this online, and I hear, my sister say this, like, why do I always got to acquiesce? Why do I always got to, try to build a man? Or why do I have, it's almost like why I have to, and it's like, to me, the beauty of a relationship, the beauty of a marriage is, like you said, building together, is that we made this together. Because if you have everything, to me, I think it's easier to get divorced nowadays because you've been doing this without me for years anyway. So if we divorce, you're like, I've been LaNee, Javet for years. I've been killing this game without a man. So you can go ahead on with your little bad self, opposed to back in the day that people stayed married because they needed each other. And I always tell people, I think God made us interdependent, not independent.
I like that.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it comes back to community. To your point, when you build something together from the start, you value it more, right? You have people that are coming together now that have been, separate or doing their own thing for a while, coming to a table. Or let's specifically talk about what your sister says. Why do I have to help somebody else build? You don't, nor should you. They should want to build for themselves. Right?
I agree.
However, two builders are better than one. You don't have to be out there in the field building, but when you come home from a hard day's work, baby, how was your day? How'd you do? Give them some big ups, a little motivation. But you can't create a builder. You can't make a builder, right? But somebody may just need they might have the build, but they need the or the her. You know what I'm saying? They could be a build. but they might need a her to, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, no shade to men, no shade to men, but God created a helpmate, right? So you can be out there doing your thing, but there is something that happens when a man and a woman get together. A
Yes.
man can be beautiful, he could be doing all these great things, but women add so much to your life. You know what I'm saying?
Come on now.
As nurturers, as listeners, as you know, we're gonna dust you off a little bit. Maybe wear this tie instead. Or did you prepare for that situation? And it's not building, it's just empowering. Like sometimes you got to speak to the king in this man so that he just knows that he can do it and he can get to the other place. You cannot build him.
Yes.
You can encourage him, you can empower him, you can let him know somebody has his back, but he has to build.
Yeah.
All you can do is add the or the her.
I love that. I love that. Because transparent moment. I think I might have shared this before, but even when my wife and I met, you know, when we got to see each other physically, because we dated for a couple of months, but when we got to see each other, when I got off the plane, she was like, she told her girlfriend later on, she said, "Oh my gosh," she said, "I like him, but he dressed like a pawpaw." She said, "Oh my God." So you know, we get back to the hotel room or whatever, and she had bought me a whole new wardrobe. A whole new wardrobe. She's like, "If you're gonna be with me, you can't be looking like that." You know, now I will say this because I was at a place in my life where I was willing to change because I knew whatever got me to point A had me stuck at point A and I needed to do something different. You know, the whole insanity thing, doing things over and over, expecting different results. So I had to be in a place where I was okay with change. And my life is so much better with her. So I totally agree with that because women, y'all, Black women, y'all amazing. I don't even know why we even having these quote unquote gender wars now. And I'm like, man, these brothers better see the value because
man,
so,
get on board.
Get on board. Are you listening to this? Get on board. Are you watching
Get
this?
on
Get on
board. Man, there's a beautiful thing that happens when people come together. And it's, you know, it used to be, I don't know if it used to be taught, but it used to be part of your life strategy, right?
Yep.
People are going to get, I'm going to get married. Da, da, da. We don't do that anymore. Like it's not part of life strategy. If it happens, it happens. In our community, in other communities, they raise their children thinking about how they're going to continue their legacy. How are you going to continue to build? The importance of having a running mate, the importance of having somebody in your home that's over your home. We don't teach that, and we need to, because wealth begins with relationship. Wealth begins with relationship. If you want to go to college or you want to go and become a doctor, somebody needs to be at home taking care of that, man or woman, doesn't matter who. But there should be two people in that home, one who's doing what they got to do, one who's holding it down, and this person can do what they can do. Then we both hold it down. But we're like fighting this life war with one hand tied behind our back because we're trying to do it by ourselves. I got to be strong. Well, this one arm is strong because this is the only one you're using. Where if you had two people, you could use both hands, and then you have these two hands, so you can hold these two as a unit.
That. Yeah.
And you still both got two hands to go. But we in life like this, talking about I'm strong, I got it. But you don't have to. That's not how life is supposed to be. And you don't need to.
Yeah, you don't have to, right?
You don't have to. But in order to not, do some therapy. Talk about it. Talk about things that hurt you. Talk about how you got to this place. Was it a wound? Did somebody hurt you? Have you not seen a good relationship? Because if we're being honest, a lot of women have been raised by women. Yep. And if you have never seen what a man is supposed to do or how he's supposed to act or what a successful relationship looks like, it can be difficult because you don't know what, like, I went to church one time, they were talking about this one Father's Day. This is actually how me and my father ended up getting a little bit closer in life. And he was talking about women who don't acknowledge their fathers on Father's Day, or they give their fathers a hard time or whatever, something to that respect. And he was just asking, have you ever thought about why you view your father that way? Because like if you were reared by women and you've never seen a successful relationship or seen what a man goes through or how a man is a father, this and other, then maybe you don't have the right, maybe not compassionate or empathetic to his point or his views. And I was like, My grandmother had 5 girls.
Mm.
All her girls had girls. I come from a tribe of women. I don't got an uncle, a brother to boot.
Wow.
On my mom's side. On my mom's side. My dad's side, I didn't. But it got me like, oh, okay, well, you know what? I have never seen a man take out the trash, carve the turkey, open the door for my mom. Okay. That makes a little bit of sense. And I go hard and I'm an alpha and all these things. I have a lot, I still do, but I tame it, masculine energy.
Yeah.
So you have to be aware of those things. The reason why I'm saying that is because some of this stuff I worked out before therapy, but therapy has helped me to manage it better, right? But there's a lot of stuff. A lot of times we think that our traumas and things that are traumatic to us have to be in your face.
Yep.
And they don't. They could just be something that you've learned from just growing up and only seeing women be the lead.
Yeah.
And so how do you then know how to let a man take the lead and trust it? If you haven't seen it, that's traumatic. You don't even know it's a trauma.
And then it's the programming too. If you never seen it, but then you see TV shows you grew up watching and you never really had it physically in the house. When you do get into a relationship, you pissed that your man or your woman isn't like what you see on TV. So you destroying your marriage with your own hands, or your relationship with your own hands, because you chasing something that's just programming. You can't separate.
Somebody wrote that
reality.
Script.
Yep.
Somebody wrote that so it will look that way. That's not real life.
And think about how many of the credits roll up at the end of a TV show. You know how many people it took to put this one person
to make it look like that. Absolutely. So to your point, there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope. There's no reason to be afraid. I forget, either I was talking to somebody or I was thinking about this last night. It's okay to be afraid.
Yes. It's
okay to be afraid.
Yes.
But you have to learn how to walk through it. If what you really want is on the other side, then you have to go through that fear to get to it. And the sooner you do it, the better. Like you don't have to, I'm about to be 46. Like I wish I would have thought of this thing through earlier. But I'm cool with it. You know, where it's happening at right now with how my life is coming together, I always feel like God's hand is on my life. So everything is happening how it's supposed to happen for me in my life. But you don't have to be afraid. You really don't. It's really it's in our heads. It's in our head.
Yes. And
once you get to a place that what you want is bigger than the fear you have of getting it, then you'll go after it and you'll be intentional.
And that's why my tagline is love fearlessly. Because if you're gonna do this thing, you gotta do it. You can't jump in there with a half a heart and expect to get, full-time benefits or results. If you're gonna do it, you gotta do it.
You're gonna do it, you gotta do it.
You gotta do it. So oh my God, yeah. I had a bunch of questions I was gonna ask you. And we just had a whole therapy session. Now I'm trying to think in my head what I'm going to label this show because it was so interesting, and we could talk about this for hours because this. I wanted to ask you about how this, because I was going to ask you, what does dating look like with entrepreneurship? Like, do you find it harder because you do have some masculine energy? Does that shy men away, or like what does the
for me it's a mix
feel? Okay.
All right. So if I only can talk about myself because I have a couple of things that someone else might say is working against me, right? Alpha is one.
Yes.
2, entrepreneur. And 3, on top of that, you want to get a PhD and be a doctor. So when I first announced the PhD, people were like, oh, you ain't never going to get a man. I said, oh my God. The men aren't looking for this PhD. Like I didn't know getting the education was going to knock me out the dating ring.
That can be intimidating.
It can be intimidating. But
to the right man.
Tell me, they're like, a real man is not going to be intimidated by nothing that you have.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. To the right man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so that's why I'd be like, all right, cool. And that's what keeps my hope. Like, you know what? Who I am and what I do and how I operate and how I run, there is a dude that's looking for that. You know what I'm saying? We just haven't crossed paths yet. But it's he's out there. So does it make it harder? Yeah. Impossible? No.
Of course.
No.
Of course.
Harder, yes. Impossible, no.
Of course.
And again, for me, I got three. I got boom, 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 boom. Right? You knock one of these joints out. Like, it was just alpha, easy all day.
Yeah.
But even that, I've learned to tame it. Thank goodness for the type of men I date, alphas, right? And so the type of men that I date who are alphas, they have taught me how to keep my masculine energy in check. Right? Like, hey, you are. I would do. He's like, you are not talking to the king in me right now. And I'd be like, I'm sorry, my bad. And so he literally learned me how to talk to the king in another alpha. Right? Game recognizes game. And so I'm better about that. I've been being intentional. I've been working on being calmer, more feminine, being better to submit. Here's the thing. Me and my mom had this conversation the other day. I seen one of my girlfriends from church whose daughter got married, and she was like, I was praying for him. So I called my mom. I was like, are you praying for my husband? And she was like, what? I was like, I just seen online where my girlfriend said she was with this lady I go to church with. She had been praying for this husband for her daughter. Her daughter just got married. Are you praying for my husband? She was like, it's so funny that you said that. I've had a dream about your husband the last 2 nights. I was like, shut up. She's like, yes. She's like, are you ready? I was like, yeah. She's like, no, are you really ready? Like, are you ready? I was like, here, mom, look, if somebody want to come here and lead this, by all,
yeah,
have at it. I want to give it to somebody. I don't want to do this. I want to be CEO in my business and in my work and come home and be a lady. I want to just be, I don't have to be CEO at my house. I don't want to be. I want to be a regular girl. I'm going to go ahead and cook some dinner and hang out, chill, watch. Like, I want to be a regular girl. And Jill Scott said it the best. Like, I watched this video, and if you find it, she was at the Breakfast Club. And she said, if you can tell me what to do, then you can tell me what to do. But if you can't tell me what to do, then you can't tell me what to do. And I felt that in my soul, like, yes, like, I want somebody that can come in here and take this, but you have to be able to come in here and take this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If we both in here and I still got to take it, like, I still got to, that doesn't work. But if you can come in here and okay, baby, you got it. We good. Let me go here and make these greens. Okay, you got it. We good. But that's it. It's finding somebody that's like this cool with it all. Like, I don't have to temper myself. I don't have to make myself small. I don't have to not be the entrepreneur. I don't have to not be the PhD. I could be me and do who I am and be who I am, but still let him be the king. Let him lead, follow. I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
Yeah, because the most attractive thing about a woman, of course, you got to have the attraction, whoever you're attracted to, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, is your femininity. It's just beautiful, just flawless.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Or you're just talking in general?
Oh, well, I'm talking to you too. I'm talking to you too, and to all those who are watching, so you make them feel welcome. Yeah. So
no, I know what you're saying though. I do know what you mean. I'm actually, even all of that, I'm rebranding. I hired this branding team, and they were just like, you know what? The thing that you're missing, we know you're powerful. I'm sorry, I'm doing it. But we know that you're powerful and you exude that, but you also need to show your feminine side. And I was like, you know what? I do. I need to do much better. I've been leading with the power for so long because of the strong Black narrative that I've dropped the femininity somewhere. And so I'm even building that back into my brand from a business perspective, the femininity piece of it, because I'm running into people and they're like, you come across so polished and sophisticated. And then when I meet you, you're so calm, you're so down to earth and fun and bright and light. And I'm like, dang, I'm not coming all across as fun and bright and light in my branding. That's the conflict. That means I'm not operating from an authentic place. And so a lot of stuff for me personally, from a business perspective, personally, dating, relationship, is being more intentional. Like, I want people to know me, see me. I don't want the strong, powerful polished to lead. I want the down to earth, cool, multifaceted version of me. And I think that that's a place that a lot of women can start is it's okay to not have it together. It's okay to not be strong. It's okay to say you want a man.
Say that.
It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to say that you're afraid. These things are okay. It's all right. And you can still be a powerful boss bee if you want to, and be vulnerable and be open and have a good time and live a life and say that you want somebody in your life.
Listen, you can't have a healthy relationship without vulnerability. You don't have that, you might as well cancel Christmas.
Right?
Yeah, right. So LaNee, this has been an awesome episode, even though I believe what was said today was supposed to be said, so it's going to help somebody today.
Yes.
Yeah. So this was God ordained, so this was supposed to happen this way.
Yay, I'm glad. And I had a good time. I always have a good time when I talk to you, but yeah, I'm glad that it kind of went the way that it went.
Yes, for sure. Any closing comments, anything that you would like to say before, and then give us your contact information too, and how we can get in touch with you as well.
So I guess my final thought would just be, don't be afraid. You know what I'm saying? And if you are, it's okay. Don't let your fear stop you from what you really want. Be vulnerable, put yourself out there. You don't know what's out there unless you try. So as I'm saying that to you, I'm preaching to myself on my situation from last night. I'm already in my head, like, what am I thinking? So I'm preaching to myself and I'm saying it out loud, which actually this conversation is just right on time. And how things work, because I'm like, and I'm like, girl, give the man a chance. Yeah. So there's that. Where can you find me? I am LaNee Javet. That's my handle on every social media platform. I am LaNee Javet. And then always at my website, LaNeeJavet.com. So yeah.
Awesome.
I'll be in these internet streets.
Out in these social media streets. Well, I just want to acknowledge you, first of all, for your transparency today, your vulnerability today, for staying the course, in spite of life, because we all have life happen to us, whatever that happens to be, and you still continue to do what you do, and continue to help our community from a business perspective, because you are needed in that area. So I appreciate that, and I want to acknowledge you also for being an awesome mom. And also being an awesome friend, and just being supportive, and even just being a friend to me after all these years. So I want to acknowledge you for those things. Yeah. So thanks again, Brave Hearts community. You heard it here. Make sure you connect with LaNee. She will bless your life tremendously. If you're trying to get your business off the ground, the woman has a wonderful mind. Make sure that you connect with her. I'll have all her information in the bottom, in the comment section, stuff like that. So make sure that y'all connect with her. Make sure you leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because there might be some boss ladies out there who might need to watch this. And this was right on time, I believe. So this is going to help somebody. This is Sean Heineman with another segment of It's Scary to Remarry with special guest LaNee Javet, and we are out. Take care, people.